All right. So I, if you follow me on my fan Instagram account for Chase or just NASCAR in general, I posted something about like asking me questions and stuff like that. Still, some people don't get that I'm not Chase. So, um, saying it right now, I'm not Chase. Um, so I got a lot of questions that not expect to get. So, I'm gonna go through all these questions. I'll answer them the best way I can. If I can't, then it is what it is. First one I got was winning the championship, but winning was spelled wrong. So, like, I don't know how people spell winning wrong, but winning the championship. I would love for Chase to win the championship. So, but these are one of the people who think I am Chase. So, to that person, sorry to burst your bubble. I'm not Chase. Um, I would love to see him win the championship this year. He has a good shot as anybody. People still think it's all about Harvick and the JGR guys, but watch out for the Hendrick guys too. Um, they may not you may not see them as like a threat or anything, but they're like one of those quiet underdog kind of things, which is weird to say coming from a top notch cup team who has 12 championships. Most of them came from Jimmy Johnson and then Jeff Gordon. So those are the two that have like multiple championships with Hendrick Motorsports. Um, Next one, how old were you when you started watching loving NASCAR and Chase Elliott? I actually grew up watching NASCAR, getting into it, loving the sport. At 6 years old, I started getting into it. That's when Jeff Gordon was at his best and he was in his prime of his career, winning races and championships and all this fun stuff. I was more interested at the time with like the look of the car because I liked bright colors. So the rainbow car from 24 like grabbed my attention and I've been a fan ever since. And that worked out well because Jeff Gordon is now a Hall of Famer and with 93 wins or championships. So, 3, 4 championships. My head hurts. Anyway, um, and when I started actually loving the sport, I was like and getting more of an understanding of it. I was in my teens. I went to my very first race when I was 15, close like 14, 15 years old. But before that, I was still like grasping like the whole aspect of the sport. But I was watching it still. Um, I become like a when Jeff's career started winding down, I was also like a Jimmy Johnson fan, and people would like argue that I became a fan of his because he's like Mr. Seven Time. I'm like, this is I became a fan of his way before he was like ever a champion in this sport. So, and Chase Elliott, I became a fan of his to the end of 2013, 2000, beginning of 2014, for his rookie season even started with the Xfinity Series. Um, and now here we are today with several wins in the Xfinity Series, a couple of truck wins, 6 Cup wins now, and being contender in the championship race like every single year since he started in the Cup Series. So I'm not mad at it. So next one, how many more races will we win in 2019? I would like to as a fan, I would love to see him win the rest of them, but it's not ideal. Um, his best 3 tracks, well, like tracks that he's won at, like than like the year, Dover, Talladega, and Kansas. He won Dover and Kansas last year, Dega this year. He has a good shot at going back to back at Dover, 2 wins in a row from last week and hopefully this week, because he has the best average finish of any driver in the series at 4.4, and his average starting position is around 9. Um, it was 9 point something. I don't remember the exact number, but it was about 9. So he has a really, really, really good shot because he has 6 top 10s and 6 top 5s at Dover. So um, I wouldn't count him out on that. So at least two, I want to say two more, but I say Dover he can win at, Talladega he can win at, Martinsville, or maybe Phoenix because he's good at all those tracks. So it's a toss up. He could dominate for the rest of the season or whatever. We don't know. So I say I want to say 3, but we'll see how it goes because Talladega is always a crapshoot and a wild card, so it's best to get a win before and so knowing you're in the next round. So I want to do a repeat of last year, but go further into the final 4. But we'll see what happens. Um, Someone asked me, how many races have you been to and how many times have you met Chase? Okay. Since I was 14, 15 years old, I went to see 2 California races. Let's see, Phoenix, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at Phoenix, um, and 2 at Vegas. So 8, 9. So about 11 races total I've been to. I know it doesn't seem like much to some people because some people have been to a lot more than I have. Financially, I just can't go and travel to all these places, but eventually when I get a little bit more secure financially, I want to go to all these different tracks. My next track I want to go to is Texas because that looks like a really, really cool track to go to. Vegas has been absolutely incredible. I've seen great racing there. Phoenix always puts on a hell of a show. California, I've seen some good racing there. I saw Casey Kane win in the 9 car and Tony Stewart from a rain shortened race, but I still saw him win. So uh, and have I met Chase? Yes, I have met Chase twice in one weekend. Back in March in Phoenix. Once I got to the track, I went to his garage stall. In Phoenix, they redid the whole infield where now there's a fence lining, between like where the car is and where the crew works and stuff like that, and the fans in the infield. So I went to his parked myself at his garage stall for a couple hours, I should say, before practice started and until after practice ended. I waited there because every time I had the last previous times, I would go there and park myself, and then I would have to go somewhere else, and I would miss him by a few minutes, and I'm like, ah. So I met him there. I got a picture with him then. I just wanted to get a selfie with him, being like, oh, it's so cool. He was driving the Hooters car then, so I had my Hooters sweatshirt on because it was kind of cold that day and windy. Hooters hat um, that he had eventually signed. Um, the next day, I had found out like early in the week, I had found out uh, was doing an appearance at Hooters. So I was like, screw the Xfinity race because I already knew who was going to win that race because who was in that race. I just didn't want to waste my time sit through that race. So I went to Hooters to meet Chase again. He signed my hat. I got a hero card, sticker. It's it was so cool. I got to talk to him. He remembered me. He knows what my Instagram looks like because he had my picture from the day before that day. So our picture together, maybe less than 10 minutes after I posted it, I got a like on it, and someone said, "Oh, he liked it," and I'm freaking out in the infield. So it was pretty cool. Um, Favorite paint scheme of all time? this one's hard because there's so many great paint schemes out there. Like I'll always go with Jeff Gordon, um, and the Rainbow Warrior. That's my favorite of all time, mainly because he's my favorite driver of all time. Um, so I should say that. Or my current driver, um, I have to go with Baja Blast. The Baja Blast scheme that he ran at Bristol last year was so good. Like, I wish he like ran that more. Oh, I loved that car, but it got banged up like on the first two laps, and it really pissed me off. So, let's see. Someone's talking crap on Logano, but my questions. They said like the Joey Logano bullshit last year proves Chase could win the championship. I'm like, I don't see how Joey Logano's run for the championship last year was bullshit. He was consistent all year long. He was like the silent driver, like no one really was talking about up until like he got into the final four and he was talking like he was being super confident that he was going to win the championship. And I'm like, I hope he does because I'm like, wasn't really a big fan of who was in the final four to begin with because it had Bush, Harvick, and Truex, and I don't like any of those guys. So, but Logano, I don't like him, but I don't dislike him. There's like I have like a like dislike with him because sometimes I think he's like super good at what he does, or he's just a big baby and needs to get over himself. But I commend him on winning the championship and being super confident and keeping the multiple championship um, thing alive with Jimmy because he's the only one in the field who has multiple championships. Everyone else who has won a championship in the series has one. So I want to keep it that way. Um, so uh, I'm with Chase. Chase has been pretty consistent all year long, except for that like summer slump, like 6-7 weeks of like hell. Um, Overall, he's been super consistent, and getting 2 wins in the regular season really helped him get through the first round and possibly through the second round, and winning the last like race of the round of 16 really helped. So he has some extra cushion a little bit, but if he can win like this weekend, it'd be like icing on the cake right there. It'd be like repeat of last year a little bit. Um, let's see. So you can't say Logano's run for the championship with bullshit. It's like people saying Bush's run for the championship in 2015 was bullshit when it wasn't. Um, so someone said Chase is elite. He's not there yet. He's not quite there. He's in his fourth season. He has plenty of time to become that elite driver. I feel like he will be at some point. Coming from our fan, I feel like he will because he has such the potential of being such a great driver. Like he's already super talented and super aggressive and such a like hands down, I think one of the best young drivers that we have in the sport right now. Like of all the young drivers right now, he has the most wins. Coming from his like rookie class, he has the most wins, and he's a bit more consistent. So um, eventually he will get there, but right now he's still in his early stages of his career and still trying to get a handle of like getting wins consistently, not like once a month or once every few months or whatever. It's like it needs to be a little bit more consistent, but Hendrick Motorsports is still getting there. They're getting better each and every week. So this one I have a hard time with because I don't know how to answer this. Like if you had to compare Chase Elliott to a NASCAR driver, past or present, who would it be? I am not entirely sure because there's so many drivers that can. Sorry, I'm watching Xfinity practice. Um, I really don't know. Like demeanor wise, like I would say Junior or Jimmy Johnson because they both like have this like laid back but competitive feel to them. Um, God, my phone will not stay on these questions. Um, let's see, but like from like the past, I don't know. I st- I have to honestly have to compare him to his dad because they both have the same driving style, like similar careers, but not at the same time. So, but like demeanor wise and like being competitive and stuff like that, I'd say like Jimmy Johnson or Dale Jr. Like personality wise, say like Dale Jr. But like being his competitive side and wanting like to win and not like always like accepting his mistakes and on and off the track and whatever. I say Jimmy Johnson. So, and people keep thinking I'm Chase Elliott. Um, okay, what's a racetrack you really want to go to? I realistically like I want to go to like all of them, but the next like the one at the top of my list is like Talladega or Daytona. I think it's like sorry, like TMI. I've been really gassy lately, so ignore all that. Um, but I really want to go to Dover and Bristol. So like any one of those would be fantastic. Best part of the Roval and how well Christopher Bell will run in the Cup Series next year. So I was gonna make another separate video about this, but best part of the Roval, of course, Chase's comeback to win um, in the final stage. Um, So of course it's and Bowman's fight to the finish. Like even though it looked like he wasn't gonna make it, he made it to a second place finish. He's got his best tracks coming up that he's gotten second place finishes in the spring. So watch out for Chase and Bowman. I would think and Byron. I wouldn't count Byron or Jimmy Johnson because Jimmy's really good at Dover. He has 11 wins at Dover. The record holding for wins at that track is what active drivers is him. So um, that's and Christopher Bell. So Christopher Bell, one of the Xfinity Series drivers, currently is moving up to the 95, as I mentioned before. And now Reddick, as we all kind of figured, that was the next in the stable of RCR, is moving up to the 8 car, previously now currently run by Daniel Hemrick, who does not need to be in a cup rate at all. He needs to go back down to Xfinity to learn how to win first. Um, so I think they'll have pretty good rookie seasons. They won't be like over the top amazing because of the equipment they're in, but they'll have like a decent, like good run for their first season in the Cup Series. And what tracks have I been to that Cup Series run? Like I've seen like trucks, Xfinity, and Cup run at all. Like so, I've seen Cup and Xfinity and truck at Phoenix a couple of years in a row, a few years in a row now. Um, I've been to Vegas and I've been to California. So those are the main 3 tracks I've been to. And I don't like when people bring this Jimmy Johnson retiring things up because I think it's a little bit disrespectful because he's still competing at a high level and still getting good finishes. Even though he's not winning, he's still being competitive and he haven't lost that fire. Every time he talks, he speaks like he's not done yet. So he's not done yet. And I don't like when people say, who you think will take his ride? Because I don't want to answer that question until it's confirmed that he will retire. And he will retire at some point, but right this second, he's not. He's still competing. I think it would be really disrespectful to talk about who would take over his ride when he's still in that ride. So I'm not getting into that anymore. And someone asked, like, how old did Chase start his career in racing and what year? Like he got like his foot in the door really like at a young age, like 7, 8 years old. Did some go karting, like some drivers started doing, and then moved up along the way. So, and my my fan account started like over a couple years ago. I should say I'm not know the exact date, but and someone asked me opinion on the way Dale Senior race. He's an aggressive racer and didn't like um he was an aggressive racer, beat Megan. That was how we know Dale Senior to race, and there's a lot of drivers today who kind of have that similar style of racing, and people complain like they want more aggressive racing, but complain when that actually happens on track. So it's a little misleading. Hold on, a Chase Elliott commercial came up about the playoffs. Get the hell out of his way. I love that commercial. Anyway, people like are so like not. I don't know how to contradicting when it comes to like drivers these days. Like they want the being beaten banging to the finish for racing and this and that, but when like Joey Logano did it at Martinsville like last year, people were up in arms and this da, da, da. And, like only because it was Logano, but if it was anyone else, it would be perfectly fine. But um, I actually have a Dale Senior blanket on my bed right now, sitting right next to me. Um, I enjoyed the way he raced. I wasn't like an overtop like huge fan of his, but because I was a little bit young when he was racing, and I don't remember much, but I do remember the day he passed away. So, because I was watching that race, um, but overall, I enjoyed the way he raced. Was a fan of his, no, but he was a hell of a race car driver. He didn't make excuses like a certain driver does today. Um, Won a lot of races. He won a lot of championships, and he's one of the greatest of all time. I still think Jimmy Johnson is the GOAT of NASCAR. Some people disagree, but he has 7 championships and 83 wins. So people say Jeff Gordon, but yes, he's like one of the best too. But I think Jimmy Johnson's just a little bit better. But that's pretty much all I got for today. Um, I'm going to go see the Joker movie today, so I'm pretty excited about that. Um, got my ticket a few days ago. I got the whole weekend off. I worked 7 straight days, so work hard, play harder, little as they say. So enjoy your weekend. Watching practice for Dover as of right now. Cup Series right after. So we'll see where everyone lands today. Qualifying tomorrow, and the race Sunday. So um, I'm gonna start getting ready to go out, enjoy my day, treat myself. Like if you work hard, you work all the time, take some time for yourself. Take a day or two just for yourself. Have a good time. You don't need to have anyone around to have a good time. You just go out, treat yourself, and just enjoy that time for yourself. Because most of the time, I don't get time for myself, and this is the time I just want to decompress, watch what I love. Because I know no one else in my family really likes these kind of movies, so I'm gonna pick out a little bit, then go to the gym with my mom later. So, and yes, this is an accurate description of my day. So, hope everyone's having a good day and a good weekend. Stay safe.